Yeah, it's crazy. The year of the PS2 was a crazy year. And I'm talking about this because I remember I started a series called actually, I don't think I ever gave it a name. It just was like moments in gaming history that made certain games or gaming moments great. Back in the early 2000s, for me, rental companies like Blockbuster, any of those places, right? If you even held Hollywood Video, they were cool because you got to rent games. My family wasn't well off like that at all. Like we had our financial struggles, but one of the coolest things was going to the video store because the video store allowed you to rent games. When I first heard Kingdom Hearts and I first seen Kingdom Hearts, I thought it was whack. Because you're sitting here, you're telling me you're trying to find some kind of way to fuse Final Fantasy characters, a genre at the time that I already thought was confusing and something I wasn't interested in, with Disney characters like Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh, Ariel, and all this other kind of shit. This is not gonna work. I had no kind of interest in it whatsoever. I don't know what it was about 2008, 2009. My little brother had rented Kingdom Hearts from the video store. And we used to rent all kind of shit. I mean, even shit like NBA Street football, NBA Street basketball. And this was cool because I didn't really play sports games like that. But when it came to shit like that and Burnout and stuff like that, I always fucked with these games. But I'm watching my brother play, and I'm noticing how in this, like the first 15, 30 minutes of the game, I don't see any of the shit that I've seen in Kingdom Hearts 1. Like the trailers, the Disney characters, and I'm like, where the fuck did all this go? Like, I thought that was the whole purpose of the game. Even on the back of the cover, they show you the shit. And he's just trotting along. And, you know, they're young at this time. So they're not getting through it as fast as I would want them to get through it. And gameplays weren't a thing back then that you can watch. So you had to either sit here and watch it or try it out for yourself. I don't know what the hell was going on. But I know Ma was at work one night. And we were all chilling. And for some reason, I decided to try out this game. When I tell you the intro of Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best way to get somebody to buy your game, to get somebody to try your game out, because it's not a short section at all. It's like maybe at least on average, about 2 hours. Whoever wrote the story of KH2, just that game specifically, needs to continue writing forever on. Whoever designed the gameplay, even though the producers are Square Enix, but whoever was the team behind the gameplay of KH2, they need to make the gameplay for most of the fucking games that are out there. If there's one thing that I can't stand about Elden Ring, even though it's one of my favorite games, or From Software games in general, like Bloodborne or Dark Souls, is the fact that when you press a goddamn button, it takes almost like a half second to maybe a second and a half of delay time. That don't sound like shit to motherfuckers who don't play games. When you're playing shit like fighting games and even games like Elden Ring, that button press, that immediate response from your button to your character's actions or moves or whatever, I feel like KH2 kind of is the fucking standard of that, or somewhat the proprietors of that shit. Because that game was responsive as shit. The story was fucking great. You sit here, you play as this kid trying to navigate his way through his world. All this crazy shit starts happening. Finds out he's in some world where he can use some shit like a goddamn keyblade, right? The fucking movements and the actions and like the quick time events and all that shit in this game looks like an anime at the time. I'm in the anime at this time. I still am. And the type of anime I was into reflected, or it was kind of reflected inside of the art style of Kingdom Hearts. Like, no, I want you to know, no other fucking game moves like this game. No other fucking game is like this game, right? And I'm thinking all this shit inside of the fucking intro. Haven't bought the game yet. Haven't seen what was outside of it. Only to come to find out all this shit you've been doing with Roxas and shit, that was just to wake the main guy up and Donald and Goofy. You're going through all of this shit. You're telling me you're living Roxas' life. You're finding out about his friends. Like, you're going through this whole world all these weird ass people start showing up. You got goddamn Count Dooku fucking showing up in the game. Like, what the fuck are you doing in a Disney Square Enix game, right? All of this stuff has happened. The power of goddamn friendship, these epic ass battles. I'm talking these anime ass, like, screen changes and progressions and all this kind of cut-ins and cutouts, make it look like an anime slash manga slash video game. Nothing has ever been done like this in this game before. I'm telling you what's going on through my head as I'm captivated by one of the best games of all fucking time. And this is the only goddamn intro, right? So now I go through all of this, watching all of this shit, being invested in this cool ass, interesting ass, badass character to only find out this motherfucker's been in the Matrix for his entire goddamn life. After finding out this motherfucker's been living in a goddamn dream world, right? Now this motherfucker has to go back to his original body, which won't remember any of this shit, just to wake him up to go out and save the fucking Disney DVU, the Disney video game universe, because it's two separate shits. Sora's not in any kind of outside media, but technically he still exists within it. Fucking game is nuts. I'm invested now. When I once thought that Donald and Goofy being with this kid with these big ass shoes running around was kind of whack and weird, now I'm invested because you introduced it to me in a way that I ate up and totally fucking understand and thought was one of the perfect ways to bring intro into a game. So how this ties all the way back to me talking about renting video games and Kingdom Hearts being tied into that is because when you rent a video game, especially as a kid, you don't have too much time to keep that game. I feel like if you got that time to rent a game for that long, then your parents might as well go out and buy it. So you only got it for a short amount of time. And so there's only so much that you can play, which is part of the reason I'm now that I'm thinking about this, is probably part of the reason why I didn't go back and buy things like RPGs and other games like that. Like fighting games were accessible, fighting games were quick, different type of adventure games and things that you can just pop in and play. Stuff like Kingdom Hearts and KH2 took time. And so that's part of the reason why I didn't buy it, but they spun this game in a way that just really hooked me from the beginning. The goddamn music of the game, I think it was the bait and switch of the game. The action, the story, the fucking fluidity in this goddamn game, because they kind of, I'm not gonna say they did a Joel and Ellie, but they damn sure did a bait and switch, considering the fact that they made you think that the game had nothing to do with the previous game, even though it's all over the fucking box. And then they ended in like, okay, this is what the game is going to be. Here's what the game actually, this is what you're going to be getting throughout the entire game. But now it's just with the Disney characters and the Final Fantasy characters, and they actually delivered on that shit. I to this day, one of my favorite fucking games. I don't think anything will ever top it. I watched somebody say the other day that Kingdom Hearts 2 on the PS2 didn't age. I ain't played the PS2 version in fucking years, and it don't age. Try this shit out for yourself. Pop in Kingdom Hearts 2 or go to YouTube and look up Kingdom Hearts 2 or something like that. Just like the first part with Roxas in it. And tell me that's not like one of the best ways to have an intro for any game. I'm not asking you to fucking play it. I'm not asking you to invest yourself. Look at the goddamn writing of the intro and the way they deliver it and how it's packaged compared to what the game actually is and what the Kingdom Hearts series has been. And you can sit here and try to tell me or come up with your own opinion about how you feel about the intro of that goddamn game. It's marvelous. It's gorgeous. That's it. Because now I'm just rambling.